Horror anime, one of the most hit or miss genres there is, but as for the title, it is pretty true. There's almost no horror anime this year. But why? Well, first, what horror anime is coming this year? Actually, almost nothing. Just one piece of music, one TV short that absolutely bombed already, and one movie that's pretty odd to release now that Mononoke ended nearly 15 years ago. Not to say that old anime can't return, I think there's been a lot of proof of that lately. But how does this compare to other years? Not great, honestly. There's never been a year without a horror series, but on the flip side, horror is and always has been hard to come by. Even though big names such as Made in Abyss and Chainsaw Man are fairly recent, that surprisingly hasn't changed the small amount in the genre each year. So, what will change it? Going back to the era when the genre was much more popular, not necessarily having better shows, but more popular ones. I'm talking about 2010 to roughly 2014. The era of HOTD, Akame ga Kill, Tokyo Ghoul, Another, stuff like that. The truth is, even at peak popularity, you still wouldn't see more than a couple release each year, so to assume any large increase will happen remains to be seen. Now, does that mean the genre will dwindle away? Most likely no. There will always be horror fans, but to give a little more reassurance than that, there's already a horror anime slated to release next year. If that's not enough, just look at last year. Dark Gathering, Zom 100, these are both proven concepts that horror in present day works, and works well. So if it's worth producing, why aren't there many more? Well, this treads into speculation, but there is genuine fact behind it. When it comes to the horror genre, you're going to have intense themes and or graphic content, which can reduce market appeal. Not only that, there's a genuine risk in execution. Seeing as anime nowadays often compete with the source material when it comes to quality, that too puts a strain on the genre. A good example is actually Flowers of Evil. For the brief few that have actually watched it, you know it's probably not one of your favorites. Not to say it wasn't enjoyable in my opinion, but it's nothing like Parasite or Monster. Compared to the manga, it's worlds apart, and for complex shows, failure to execute is real. Something studios may not be willing to risk as much as safer bets like isekai or fantasy series. Briefly diving deeper from a quick glance, no new mangas in the genre have standout ratings that could easily separate themselves from others as worthy of getting an adaptation. Now, that can always change, but there's also advertising to consider. When content's often disturbing, finding ways to show the public does come as a challenge. To be fair with shows like Chainsaw Man, it can be a bit easier given how marketable the characters are. Nevertheless, what works for some doesn't work for all. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.